Whoosh. Hello everyone. So recently I've had to decide whether I want to go back to camp or not. And in the process of doing that, my boss at work has been trying to understand why I love camp so much and why I've, done it 6 times. And I really want to explain to him and explain to everyone that I meet why I love it so much. But I found myself struggling because I've never really sat down and thought, why do I love it? So I thought I'd sit down, have a think, and then talk about why I love it to camera, edit it down, and then it would help me articulate my thoughts so that if this question comes up again, I can answer it a bit better. If this is interesting to any of you, or if you can relate to any of this stuff, then that's an awesome bonus. Let me know if any of that is the case, or if you have any other reasons, feel free to comment them down below. So this is why I love camp. I brought it down to 3 main C's. C's. First one, creativity. Being in the video department and having a real passion and interest for video, camp is the perfect place to make stuff and be creative. There's hardly any limits to what you can make. The only limits are like no swearing, no references to guns or drugs or drinking or PDA. And I've literally been able to do so many cool things at camp that I don't think I'd be able to do anywhere else. Or if I did, it'd be a lot harder. For example, last summer, I got to fly this guy through fireworks on the 4th of July. And that's something that ever since I started getting into drones, I've seen footage online of people doing that. And I thought that looks friggin' awesome. I would love to do that. But when are you going to get the chance? At normal fireworks shows, you'd have to know the person running it for them to give you permission to fly a drone through it. There's, plenty of safety hazards and you have to get like permits and it'll be a real faff. But I was able to do that and hopefully I'll do it again because I got some awesome shots that you'll see here. I've also been able to make loads of awesome music videos. It's kind of become my thing at camp. And because I've made so many over the 6 years I've been doing camp, it's kind of got to the point where it's a real challenge to come up with new ideas and make them different from each other. But I think that's awesome. I love the challenge. Sometimes I succeed, sometimes maybe I don't. But I definitely feel like my skills have got better over the years. Hopefully you agree. And that really is just a proof that camp is an awesome place to make stuff. You make stuff at such like a rapid pace as well. You're literally making 2, 3, 4, maybe 5 videos every session. That's 2 weeks. And then session's over and you're moving on to the next video. I always have a note on my phone, on my notes app, of ideas that I jot down throughout the year. And then when I go back to camp, I try and do as many of them as I can. And we also have a bunch of awesome equipment at home. I have this camera, which is just a bog standard DSLR. I've got a mic, I've got a tripod and a drone with a GoPro. But that's it. At camp we have all this awesome equipment which we've kind of, built up over the years. And so I can do multi-camera stuff, which I can't do at home. We have, we have a Steadicam thing, which I don't have at home. So all this awesome equipment. And equipment, can be bought, can be rented, fine. But the people, you literally have a group of kids that come to you and say, I want to be in a video, whether that's in a minor or in a major, where they sign up to be with you for 2 weeks. And yeah, it's literally the perfect mix of what you need to make videos. And that's the first C of why I love camp so much. The second C of why I love camp so much is the campers. Now, please just humour me while I get a little bit gushy, but it is really rewarding to be in a counselor position, like a teacher position, and to, kind of look after, watch over, guide, teach, help these awesome kids, teenagers, campers. Before I went to camp, I didn't really have any, they call it childcare experience, which is what you need to put on your application. I kind of blagged that bit of my application. And so coming to camp for the first time, I had no real idea how I would take to being a counsellor and having to interact with all these kids. Luckily, I took to it really well, and I've kind of just figured out that you don't have to be the crazy, loud, enthusiastic 100% of the time, always smiling kind of person. You can just be yourself, and they will, learn to like you. They'll figure out all of your weird interests and the weird things you do and the weird accents and the weird things you say, the weird laughs you have. And I really love my goal at camp of being, you're there to make sure these kids have an awesome summer. That is like so far in my life, the biggest motivation for me to work hard. It's the reason that I stay up really late editing stuff. It's the reason I work as hard as I can in those 3 or 4 months while I'm at camp. Because, specifically in video, if I can work my arse off and end up creating a video that either just I, or if the other people will watch 50 years down the line, then that will be friggin' awesome. And yeah, I'd love to watch it back. And if the people in it want to watch it back as well, that is even better. And the third C of why I love camp, the third and final thing is, and be warned, it's going to get even more gushy from now on, the connections. I feel like we should have some sad music, some emotional music in the back. Thank you. I've made friends at camp with people that I know I'll be friends with for the rest of my life. And even people I'm not quite still in touch with, I know that I'll be able to count on them and meet up with them, and they'll be there if I need them at any time, because we've shared that camp experience together. Because it's a real unique, experience, even camp in general, but also at our camp at that exact time is so unique that anyone I share it with, you have a unique relationship with them. And I love how each summer is like its own little family. I kind of remember each summer as my first year, which was at another camp, and then first year of Frenchwoods, second year of Frenchwoods, third year, fourth year. And each of them is its own contained bubble of people, counsellors, campers, videos I made, activities we did, days off, and even down to the session. Within one summer, you can literally go from all these 5 little bubbles of combinations of people. There can be sessions where I'm not really having a great time, where maybe the kids in my bunk or the kids in my classes, I'm just not feeling it. But all you have to do is wait for the next session, and then you could go from not loving life to loving life. Luckily, I'd never really have too many bad. Probably can count the bad sessions on one hand for my whole 6 years. And these connections I made goes for counsellors and campers, really. You end up spending a lot of time with these campers. Some more than, there's campers, there's counsellors who I feel like I don't know, just because there's between 50 and 100 of us. There's going to be people that you don't see or that you just don't get to talk to. But then you've got these campers that come up to you every day, that come to your classes every day. So you make some real close connections. That's what the C stands for, connections, with these people. And on top of that, what's been happening more recently is campers transitioning to counsellors. And each year this happens. I always hear people be like, "Oh, it's going to be so weird, this person being a counsellor because they were a camper last year." But from my experience with the people that I hang out with, it's not really that weird. My golden example is the amazing Raoul. Raoul, if you're watching this, shout out to you. Raoul is who I always use as an example because he went from camper to counsellor, and I can safely say he's one of my best friends. And he's not a best friend, he's not like a friend that is a lot younger than me, or a friend that used to be a camper. Like, he's just best friend. Full stop. I don't think of him as like, is on the weirdness scale. Some people, people are worried about it being weird. We're like a negative infinity. And also, he's not the only one. I'm really lucky to be able to call people like Maggie, Evan, Joe, and Jen really good friends of mine. And I'm sure there'll be plenty more every year I go back. So that has been my 3 C's of why I love camp. Okay, you can stop the sad music now. There's obviously other things. There's bonus reasons. You get to do a bit of traveling afterwards. You get to go to America. There's like cultural exchange aspect of it where you get to meet people from around the world. You get to kind of impart your culture, input your culture on the people around you, and they do the same. As well as that, I'm going to be honest, there's always the potential and the hope to find love at camp. And it's also super picturesque. If you've seen any photos of camp, or if you've been to camp, where else would you want to wake up every day to go to work than in the mountains where it's sunny most of the time and it's hot and the stars are amazing at night? And yeah, so that was why I love camp. It feels quite good to get it out there, documented. If you can relate to any of these reasons, then do let me know. I'd be really interested to know if these are the same reasons for you, or if they're different. Let me know why you love camp. And if you don't already know, I've decided to go back. Be a bit of a different video if I wasn't going back. This would be quite a sad video. But I will be going back to Friendship Sports and Arts Centre summer 2020. So if you'll be there, I'll see you there. Hopefully, all of this stuff stays true and I can have another awesome summer. Summer number 7. Thank you very much for watching. Thank you for indulging me as I go on a ramble and just spew from my brain into this mic and into the camera. Thank you very much for watching. I'll see you soon.